The Chargers will stay in San Diego through the 2015 season, but after that, all bets are off and things could definitely change. Joining me with what's at stake is my guest, Jay Paris, sports writer for the Mighty 1090. And Jay, it's good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Peggy.
Now, the NFL might return to Los Angeles. We've been hearing about that,
yeah.
right? We have heard that before, but
Right.
this time it could mean two teams. So what's the latest on that?
Well, the latest, I think, is Stan Kroenke, the owner of the St. Louis Rams, who's the second most wealthiest owner in the NFL, and that's a pretty exclusive club now. He bought a parcel of land up at Hollywood Park, and he's joined in with a investment firm that had the other 200 acres. So he has 300 acres of prime real estate in between 4 freeways in Los Angeles, right next to the fabulous Forum. He is the owner of the team in St. Louis. They're having their own stadium difficulties there. Thinking is the Rams might be there, and they may be looking for a co-tenant.
Which would be the St. Louis, possibly.
St. Louis would come, and then maybe the Raiders or the Chargers.
Right, the two. So, okay, let's talk about the stadium aspect of this. Where would this move, the building of the stadium up in L.A., where would that leave the Chargers in their quest for a new stadium outside of Qualcomm?
It's a little tricky. Really, the best way I've heard it described is they're playing musical chairs up there, and there's 2 chairs and there's 3 teams, the Raiders, Rams, and Chargers. And the Chargers have to be, their contention is they get about 1/3 of the revenue from Orange County, L.A., Inland Empire. So they can't sit idly and watch part of their business erode while 2 teams go into LA. If 2 teams went in there and they still didn't have their stadium down here, they'd lose all their leverage. So they're pushing pretty hard for the mayor, Kevin Faulconer, and for the city to get busy and offer some real specifics on where they want the stadium to be and who's going to pay for it.
Yeah, and the who's paying for it part is interesting, because if you have a private person coming up in LA and building a stadium, how's that going to bode with the taxpayers here saying, oh golly, but if you want a stadium here, we want you guys to pay for it?
Yeah, I think that's a big oh golly, and let's be here, you know, Mr. Spanos and the Spanos family, they're definitely wealthy. They're not quite up in Mr. Groenke's class, a billionaire on his own right, married to Sam Walton's daughter of Walmart. So there's a little lettuce up there in his bank account. The Chargers have to sell this really as an extension of the convention center. And that's where the frustration, I think, with the Chargers has come. It's been 8 months or so since the court struck down extending the convention center under that mechanism with the hotel tax and such. Since then, there's been little word about where it's going to go. The Chargers would like to put it just east of Petco Park, extend the convention center in that way. Not a lot of the hotel people are getting behind it yet.
We've heard so many LA proposals, as you mentioned, since it's the Rams left, right? 1994.
2 decades, right.
So how is this one different? Why does it seem more real this time
Well,
around?
I think this guy has the land, he's got the money, and he has a team. A lot of these other ones are LA Live up there by Staples Center, and the one up in out in the City of Industry. I mean, those guys had the land, and they said, hey, we'll build a stadium. They didn't have the team. So I think what makes this one unique and different is Stan Kroenke has a team. Now, the NFL claims they own that market, and any move into that market must be approved by 2/3 of the owners. Whether that happens or not, and whether, you know, I'm sure Stan's got a legion of lawyers on his side too. So we're going to see where this all goes. Nobody will be moving up there next season, 2015, but 2016, it could be a different story.
Well, the Chargers, though, have to be feeling the pressure
Absolutely.
here. They don't, you know, if they say 25 to 30% of their fan base, as Spanos said, you know, come from LA.
Right.
You know, so what, is there enough fan support here to keep them here?
There is. I think that the key deal is selling this stadium as more than a stadium, and they have to sell it as a part of the convention center. And that's really why people are going to get behind it. You got to remember here, they got to reach that 2/3 voters approval threshold. That's huge in San Diego. You know, we don't vote for anything, it seems like. So whether that's a city vote or a county vote, they have to find that 2/3 majority.
All right. We will see.
We're going to be discussing this again, I think.
Again. All right. Sports writer Jay Paris, thanks so much for the update.
Appreciate it. Thank you.